I'm back from the 49ers locker room following the 37-24 win over the Tennessee Titans.
He's that Jesus Christ lizard running on water, just no ball security, fake pitching at the end of a 40-yard run. Absolutely just diabolical behavior by QB1. But I love it. As long as he's running out of bounds, I don't care. Just don't take a hit. I just don't need that in my life.
Some intel, and this is concerning for the 49ers. Spencer Burford, their left guard, he might have a high ankle sprain. The 49ers have not ruled that troublesome injury out. Burford did return from his general ankle injury, and so the 49ers are hoping that it won't be the high ankle sprain, but if it is, then they might have to go to the rookie Connor Colby again, because Ben Barch, the starting left guard to begin this season, is already on injured reserve. Ricky Pearsall might also have a PCL injury. He definitely aggravated something with the PCL, was limping a little bit in that 49ers locker room. Ricky says that he now knows how to manage this injury and that he'll be able to shake it off, and Kyle Shanahan seemed to suggest the same thing, but we know how much the 49ers are going to be counting on Ricky moving forward. Kyle Shanahan did talk about the whole Brandon Aiyuk situation. Apparently the 49ers haven't seen Brandon for a month in the building, so that obviously led to them placing him on the reserve left squad list. Now it's time for the 49ers to get back some of their money for 2025 that has already been paid to Brandon Aiyuk. But we saw it on the field today. Ricky Pearsall, really damn good. Jawan Jennings, really damn good. The 49ers picked up the slack that's been left behind by the Brandon Aiyuk absence with those two guys, but with so much pressure on Pearsall and Jennings to do that, and with injury troubles for both of those players this year, it remains a tenuous situation. You know who's probably going to be very important for the 49ers at some point during the stretch run, has already been very important at times for San Francisco, is Kendrick Bourne. This is crazy. He came into this game with 482 receiving yards. Kendrick had 17 receiving yards today, caught one on the crossbody throw from Brock Purdy. So he finished at 499 receiving yards. He needs 500 receiving yards this season to earn a $500,000 bonus. So Kendrick Bourne is one receiving yard away from $500K. And, I mean, he's already come through massively for the 49ers, who have struggled at that receiver position. Remember week 5 with the massive game against the Rams. So, I mean, you just hope that KB can get it done. I'm sure the 49ers would pay out the $500,000 anyway in case something happened. They are a classy organization in that way, but it's just funny. 499 receiving yards. He's got to get to 500. And I do think that there's going to come a point where Kendrick Bourne is in the spotlight for the 49ers moving forward. You know who's in the spotlight today is one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the entire NFL. That is Brock Purdy. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about Purdy. Well, what about his little jump throw today on the touchdown to George Kittle?
Brock's pretty consistent. He did the Dougie because he promised the guys if he scored he would do the Dougie, and he's not a liar, so he had to do it. Brock does get in. I mean, the first time Brock scored in our stadium, his first preseason game, we were playing, I think, the Packers. He did the discount double check, and we had no idea he had a personality like that. So I think he does do stuff on the field a lot, just he does it subtly. So we love Brock.
Have you taught him the jump pass touchdown?
No, not at all. We give him crap for it a lot, but when it works, we call him Michael Jordan. So it was a hell of a deal today.
When it works, we call him Michael Jordan. Yep, they can call Brock Purdy Michael Jordan. 295 passing yards today, 44 rushing yards, including a 26-yard scamper down the sideline where you saw that elite 10-yard split at play. And then we saw Brock Purdy on that play taunt Cody Barton, the linebacker, but immediately apologize. I mean, Purdy's having fun out there. It looks like he's in full command. The risk-reward calculator in his head has been fully recalibrated now, coming off the turf toe. Big picture is the 49ers win games when Brock Purdy's in there. They're 4-0 ever since he returned from the toe injury. They now have notched a 10-win season for the 49ers. That is the 27th 10-win season since 1981. That's the year of the first Super Bowl title. Kyle Shanahan, by the way, was born the year that Bill Walsh was in his first season coaching the 49ers, and today is Kyle Shanahan's 46th birthday. December 14th, 1979 is when Shanahan was born. It's now December 14th, 2025. So happy birthday to Kyle Shanahan, who has notched his 5th 10-win season as the coach of the 49ers. That's a tremendous accomplishment. It puts the 49ers in great position entering this stretch run. I mean, that's the big picture that we've got to focus on, right? The 49ers have won 4 straight. The offense is knocking on the door of the NFL's elite. We talk about the XY chart. The 49ers, when they play like this, like they did today against the Titans, when the receiving position can deliver like Ricky Pearsall, like Jawan Jennings, like DeMarcus Robinson and Kendrick Bourne did, the 49ers are one of the top offenses in the game. Their quarterback, Brock Purdy, is enough of a dual threat. He's an elite guy to be able to do that. Now it's just how far can that defense take them? I don't think that today would have been good enough against better opponents defensively, but thankfully they're playing the 32nd ranked Tennessee Titans offense. And now it's going to be Phillip Rivers. I talked to Keon White, the 49ers defensive end, in the locker room, and he said, I hate playing against guys like Phillip because he gets rid of the ball quickly. He might be a little hefty, Phillip Rivers. You saw him almost beat the Seahawks today on the road. He's 44 years old. He's a grandpa. He's added a few pounds since his last time playing a few years ago, but he still gets rid of the ball quickly. He's going to be tough to sack. The 49ers didn't have any sacks today, and the defensive performance that left a lot to be desired. The safety play for San Francisco, I think, is the most alarming. I mean, they've got to catch interceptions. Dropped interceptions matter. 49ers fans probably know that better than any other fan base, and they lead the NFL in dropped interceptions ever since since Jaquiski Tartt dropped Matthew Stafford's would-be pick in that NFC Championship game. Malik Mustafa couldn't hang on to 2 today. That was the only reason that this game was not a complete blowout. But the 49ers, they still covered the spread. It was 12.5 points. They won 37-24. They won by 13. It was really, really impressive to see the 49ers do what they did today. Another 49ers injury came before the game, which started at 1:25 p.m. At about 11:20 a.m., Jordan Elliott, the defensive tackle, was stretching in the locker room and he hurt his knee. Kind of a freak occurrence. Kyle Shanahan unsure how serious the Elliott injury is, but Kevin Givens, he was slated to be inactive, the veteran defensive tackle, on short notice. 2 hours before kickoff, he had to get ready to play, and Givens did play. Shanahan was proud of Givens, but definitely concern a defensive tackle and along the interior offensive line, as we mentioned with Spencer Burford, since Ben Barch is already out. That's something that the 49ers are going to have to hammer home, iron out here as they approach this final 3-game stretch. We'll have more from Kyle Shanahan tomorrow, and then the 49ers have an extra day before they play the Indianapolis Colts. This was a workmanlike win. Purdy is going to be firmly within the top 5 of the quarterback efficiency ratings. He was at over 0.5 expected points added per drop back today. Exactly what you want to see against an overmatched Titans defense. And that might even thrust him into the top 3. There's a reason why you shouldn't be listening to amateur quarterback analysts and their opinions of Brock Purdy, because they're all wrong, consistently. Still is the number 1 quarterback since he entered the league in 2022 when it comes to that efficiency, and today only bolstered Purdy's case. Again, 49ers 4-0 since he's joined the team. A lot of the guys I talked to in the locker room, there's awareness that if the Rams lose to the Seahawks, and the Rams just lost Devontae Adams probably for at least this game, a fairly significant hamstring injury for Devontae Adams. So if Seattle wins in Seattle against the Rams on Thursday, the 49ers will control their destiny for the 1 seed. And they're already favored, the 49ers, over the Colts. They're probably going to be favored over the Bears. And you have to say that the Seahawks game will be a toss-up at worst. It's here at Levi's Stadium for the 49ers. So they're going to be in position to potentially grab the 1 seed, which would be a playoff win for San Francisco. 10 wins, 1 seed in play. Division race is well off and running. The 49ers are in just absolutely tremendous position right now. And I saw Fred Warner before the game today, and I can tell you what, Fred Warner's not rehabbing 6 hours a day so that he can come back week 1 of 2026. He's trying to be back by January. 49ers can use Tatum Bethune back. They could use Eric Kendricks, who's working his way back into shape to shore up some of these defensive issues. And obviously they could use Fred Warner if he can miraculously make a return. And if there's a guy that can do it, sleeping in his hyperbaric chamber at night and just firing up his teammates before games like this, if there's a guy that can do it, it would be Fred Warner. That could pick up some slack for this 49ers defense. But the bottom line is that the ceiling of this team is determined by number 13, the receivers, maybe some of that interior offensive line play in front of Brock Purdy. And if you've got 13 on your team, if you have Purdy on your team, you've got a chance to go deep. There is no perfect team in this league. The Packers lost Micah Parsons to what looks like an ACL tear today in Denver. The 49ers moved ahead of Green Bay in the NFC standings. I mentioned that they still need somebody to beat LA for them, and it could be the Seahawks on Thursday, but it's all about the 49ers focusing on themselves to continue fighting through what's been a very challenging season, but it's better for the injuries to happen early than for them to happen late. And for all these other teams, it seems that the injuries are happening later in the year. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL today. That could probably will affect the Chiefs into 2026. So as we've been hammering home the entire time, these are marathons. They are not sprints, but they are marathons that you have to run like a sprint. And the 49ers' depth, their coaching, their stability at the quarterback position, all of the above has put them in position to potentially get that NFC number 1 seed as they head to Indy on a longer week, Chicago, and then Seattle following that. In the locker room, I talked a little bit to Deommodore Lenoir. Chase Lucas had a stinger on the first play. He said that really hurt. He could barely move his arm. And then he was okay. He was straight. He was able to get back into the football game. Mentioned that Ricky was limping it a little bit. That's the aggravation of the PCL. He's going to have to be in the training room. But Ricky Pearsall had an astute comment. He said that everybody in his locker room is hurting at this point. I mean, and you see the injuries happen around the rest of the league. It's about who can be tougher and do right longer toward the end of the season heading into January. And early indications are the 49ers are in really, really good position to do right longer than a lot of their opposition. They've won 4 straight. They're heating up into December. We know who they are as a football team. It's a potentially elite offense that showed up today against the Titans. And it's a gas can of a defense that today it was fine because they were playing Tennessee, but is going to have to be more opportunistic. They're going to have to catch their interceptions. They're going to have to take advantage of the chances that come to them moving forward. And if that happens, you've got to like the 49ers special teams. They've been awesome this year. And that's why they've almost secured that playoff spot and why the chances at that number 1 seed are growing bigger and bigger every subsequent week. 49ers are not good enough to consistently blow teams out. Today it was a 2-possession win, but it was against a bad team, the Titans. I think that getting the number 1 seed would be massive for them. I mean, on paper, the Niners are still the number 24, number 25 defense in the league. The offense and special teams are really good. I get it, but they do have that flaw in at least one phase of the game. Saleh has done all he can to pick up the slack there, but just getting a break for the first week of the playoffs, an automatic win as the 1 seed, would be immeasurably important toward the 49ers' goal of getting to the Super Bowl here at Levi's Stadium. But it's all about 1 week at a time. And I highlighted some of the injuries. Now I'm going to go ahead and take you into the 49ers locker room so you could learn more about this win.
Well-coached football team. We know what we're missing, but our coach don't let us dwell on that. And ultimately, we understand that nobody cares, right? Nobody cares who's not here for us, and everybody's going through similar issues. So just got to pick it up and play.
What'd you think of Brock's scramble, his little fake out, plus he danced again, a little Dougie after a touchdown?
I didn't see the dance, but like I said, it's just when you see him break up the sideline like that, it's just like, we have so many weapons on this offense, and then you just reminded like, oh, that's another aspect that we got,
When you get the news, like when these big guys go down, do you remember how it felt? Did you feel like you had to generate like positivity when you hear about that?
No, I ain't gonna say that because we lost guys that's the heart and soul of the team. So I'd be lying to just say I was ready to roll with the next guy. It took some time, man. We had to, for lack of a better word, mourning a little bit, And, especially seeing the way like Fred went down, and it's hard. It's hard to deal with in the time. And like you said, we're professionals and we got to keep moving forward. But I'll be lying to say that it's not a tough thing to deal with.
Conversely, how does it feel? You here, y'all one of the best teams in the league. You don't have many years left, but you're playing for something. Like being still in the game, that's got to mean something to you. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our goals that we set out at the beginning of the year is still there, no matter who's not in the lineup, who's in or out the lineup. Everything we set out for and we said that this team can accomplish is still right in front of us. So, super encouraged, but just one down. We got 3 more to go, and then we'll see how the big dance play out.
The O-line had to worry about Jeffrey Simmons all week. Did you think that your defense was going to have to worry about Jeffrey Simmons?
Nah, that was a cool little wrinkle. I definitely didn't see that coming.
How badly would you want to get in on a play like that?
It's whatever, man. At the end of the day, I've had a long time to sit there and fantasize over a touchdown and stuff. I think those fantasies kind of faded a little bit. I just want to lock down my position.
Thanks, man.
It feels really good, being involved in passing and be able to make plays for our offense to continue the drives and get some points on the board.
Kyle Shanahan said this week that it's not about stats with him, it's how you play without the ball in your hands. Does that make you feel more confident that your coach feels that way about him?
I definitely think so. Hearing it from him, a guy like that, and a guy that I respect a lot. And I think for me, that's something that I had to learn for the last 2 weeks, honestly, and that it's not about stats, man, and it's about the flow of the game and the impact I can make without the ball in my hands, like you said. And, we go hand in hand with the run game anyway. So, the harder I go and run blocking, running my routes, the more Christian and the other guys are going to eat too as well, and just being able to trust in that and know it's going to come my way and just to be ready when the opportunity is up. So
last couple of press conferences, Kyle was almost to the point of sounding annoyed when he kept getting asked about Pearsall in the offense.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed too.
And he's saying, look, he's doing the same thing he's always done, but sometimes the ball doesn't go there. Did he need to tell you that, or you just knew that?
A lot of my teammates, that's the good part about this team, man, is he doesn't really need to tell me. And
yeah.
I think that he didn't straight up come up to me and tell me for a reason is because he knew the vets in this room. And, obviously my locker mates that I'm right next to, there's big vets that, tell me, the things that I need to hear as a player and, that the ball's going to continue to come my way, later in the season, and just to always be ready and know the impact that I'm making even with the ball in my hands. But yeah.
When you look at the game plan, did you have a feeling you're going to get a lot of opportunities today?
If I'm being honest, yeah. Yes. I definitely thought I was going to have some opportunities today. And honestly, I have that mindset pretty much each and every week, and I've had that mindset for the last really 2 weeks for real. And sometimes football just happens where you just don't get the ball, and there's a lot of things that need to go right in order to get the ball to the receivers. So, the good thing about this game is it's the ultimate team sport. So, whether it is going my way and I have all the cool stats or not, I'm still creating an impact. We're still winning games, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Speaking of winning the games that you're winning, you only have a 2-year sample size. Totally different position now than you guys were this time last season. Does it feel different for you?
For sure. You play this game to win games, and that's what the ultimate goal is to continue to win and continue to build off those wins. Don't get complacent and continue to attack each day the same exact way. But yes, we definitely play for the wins. I can have the crappiest game in the world. If we win, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yes, we're chasing wins.
Are you getting the feeling that your offense, the passing game, can go against anybody right now? The way with all the guys you got and all the weapons, and the way you're clicking.
100%. I feel like if I didn't believe in that, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now. So I got to always have faith in that and confidence, and we do. I have confidence in Brock. I have confidence in George, Christian, whoever it is, whoever's on that field. I have the utmost confidence for it because I see them come in here and work every single day. I work my tail off each and every day, and that's the love of the game right there.
How do you feel physically? You had the battle. Apparently, the ankle was hurt to the point where Kyle said you thought you didn't get in the end zone because of it. And then you wound up with another injury at the end. But do you feel good from both those things?
Yeah, I'm throwing that excuse in there too. That's why I'm not gonna lie. I started feeling a little bit right there when I started to open up. But yeah, no, I was banged up, man. That first play, I got twisted and tackled, and my ankle just got caught under him as we landed. And it sucks. That's the game sometimes. I was obviously frustrated due to what I've already had to go through, but just knowing that continue to have faith, just go wrap that ankle up, get back in the game, see if you can go, and I feel like I can go, and towards the end of the game, obviously I came up limping, but that's just some old stuff. So.
What do you think about Juwan's game and just like the stretch that he's been on the past couple of years?
Yeah, Juwan's a hell of a player, man. I have the utmost respect for Juwan. That's my guy right there. I see how he comes into the building each and every day, and honestly, like there's a lot of things that I've learned from him, and especially when he straps up his cleats and his helmet, and he steps on the football field. It's a different dude, and that's something I've always respected about Juwan, and it's no surprise that he's balling out. He's going to continue to do this. That's what I have full confidence in for sure.
People worry.
You talking about it irritated the PCL at the end of the game. Are you concerned at all about it?
I wouldn't say like I'm super concerned. I don't really know what's going on with it, to be honest. I got to get some imaging done to it to see, what exactly it is. But, it's probably the same shit that I was, dealing with before. And, that sucks. But at least I know how to manage it now and go about it. And so, that's all I can focus on right now is getting it ready for the next week.
Okay, before you came back officially for your first game, you mentioned it was a matter of just kind of pain tolerance and kind of getting to that point. Is that going to be kind of, I think it's close for the rest of the season?
Yeah. Injury? You know what? Everybody in this entire locker room's hurting. So I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. Because at the end of the day, y'all not going to feel sorry for me anyway. And, I think this is just a very physical game. And you're going to have to battle through injuries whether you like it or not. It's a 100% chance you're going to have an injury probably throughout the season, and that's just what the game is. And so whether I can, what can I do now? And that's just attack each and every day to the fullest and try to get it right for next week and go out there and make plays for these boys.
We haven't seen him forever. So, that's a decision they make. It's been pretty simple for me. I haven't seen him in a month. So, that's, and same with our team. So hasn't been an issue with our team at all. We kind of been plugging away and no big deal. Or it's just something we've been used to for a while, but I know it's new to you guys, so they just officially, I think, had to do that yesterday.
You and especially John have been saying you hoped he was going to come back. You hoped you still want that to happen. Do you have enough at receiver? What do you think about your receiving group that you going on without him now?
We've been playing with our receiver group all year. I really have been hoping he would come back all year, but not one point was I really planning on it. So that would have been a great bonus. That would have been awesome. And would love to have BA out there. Would love to have that type of player. But that was something I realized early on wasn't going to come for a while. And there was nothing that made me sit there and think it was happening soon. So I think the rest of our team also.
Has he communicated to you or anyone else that he wasn't going to come back? Or has there been anyone that's been in touch with him at all?
Not that I've talked to.
Is he out of the picture of the 49ers now in the future?
I wouldn't say that's for sure been decided. I literally haven't had to think about BA or had a reason to think about him in a long time. He is under contract next year. BA is a guy we've had a relationship for a while. We've always liked BA. Everyone knows how good of a player he is. It's extremely unfortunate that it's gotten to this point, but when this year is over, we'll see where we're at.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was just playmaker being a playmaker.
Kyle said sometimes he doesn't like the jump pass.
I could imagine. Yeah, that would make sense. I like them when they score, though.
I think, for us, every single game, man, like with the guys that we have on the field, that's our standard, is to go out, to move the ball, put up points, regardless of who we're playing. We know that we're talented, and we have guys across the board, receiver, tight end, running back. And so for us, that's always going to be our standard. So definitely, and I'm just speaking offensively. Defense, we got guys that have stepped up and done a great job. But, for us, and a mindset as a quarterback is we need to score, and I expect us to score hopefully every drive. So, yeah, I think it was just how the game sort of went. Obviously, we always want to try to get Ricky the ball. He's explosive and does a great job in man-to-man matchups and creating separation. So, obviously, every game we want to get him in those kind of situations. But just how the game went, the play calls and per coverage and stuff, he was the guy that I was supposed to throw the ball to, and we made it happen. So really happy for him.
Yeah, Brock was awesome today. Did a great job commanding the huddle, made some plays with his feet, which were great, and threw the ball downfield well, and guys made plays, and Brock was Brock.
I think when new guys first step in the door of this building, they kind of see the standard that we have set, whether it's Fred, whether it's Bosa, me, Christian, Purdy, Trent Williams, and Kyle does a really, really good job of he shows the highlights of the players that have set the standard. And then if you don't match that standard or at least try to match it, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb, and it's not really fun to stick out like a sore thumb in a football building because then you're not in the building very long. And so it just kind of forces guys to, hey, you have to play like this, otherwise you're just not going to be here very long. And I think that's really on Kyle and John for like bringing in guys who are high character guys that want to work really hard, that, you know, they want to be really good football players, and I think that's what it is.